EWTN. Joining us now is Alfonso Aguilar, president of the Latino Partnership for Conservative Principles. Alfonso, welcome back. Great to see you again. As mentioned, the vice president is now heading down to the U.S.-Mexico border, specifically to El Paso, Texas, and she is receiving some criticism, as you know, including from Texas Governor Greg Abbott because of where she will be visiting. Let's talk about that and why that seems to be an issue.
Well, it's about time. I think she should have gone to the border a long time ago, right after she was tapped by the president to head the administration efforts on the border crisis. She should have gone down there. And I think it's important for her to go to the border so she can see firsthand what's going on and hear from the people affected by this crisis. Now, as the report mentioned, she's going to the wrong place. She's going to El Paso, which is relatively stable. And she should have gone to the Rio Grande Valley, where that area is really the ground zero for what's happening. I mean, incredible numbers of people arriving at the border. Just in May, over 180,000 people arrived. So she should have gone there. I guess it's more politically convenient to go to El Paso. The visuals are going to be much nicer. And this is an administration that's been trying to hide what's going on at the border because they're afraid of the political consequences.
Yeah, and as we also heard, former President Donald Trump, he's going down to the border, something that he actually announced prior to VP Harris's announcement. What do you make of that? And do you think that his visit maybe prompted the vice president to go?
Oh, absolutely. The President Trump had announced his visit next Wednesday some time ago. Certainly, she didn't want to go visit the border after President Trump had been there, so they moved quickly to schedule this visit tomorrow. But I should say that the President Trump's visit to the border is important. As I said, the administration has been trying to ignore the crisis because they're afraid of political consequences. And President Trump, being a high-level leader in the country, can bring attention to this serious national security and humanitarian crisis.
Yeah, and he's also going to a different area than VP Harris, so that's significant too. States like Florida and Nebraska are sending law enforcement, I'm sure you heard that, to help Texas secure the border. What more can you tell us about that, and what type of message do you think that sends to the Biden administration?
Well, the message is that the federal government is not fulfilling its duty to protect the border. That's a basic duty of the federal government, so states have to step in. Texas has been greatly affected, so Governor Abbott has secured about $250 million to begin building a state border wall to ensure that they can control the irregular entry of migrants through their border. They're also getting help from the state of Florida, the governor of Oklahoma, who are sending law enforcement officials to help detain people who are trying to enter illegally through Texas. And I should say, Governor Abbott has issued an emergency declaration because they do have an emergency at the border with people swarming their border with Mexico. And just like states send law enforcement officials to help with, after a hurricane to provide relief, well, Florida and Oklahoma are doing the same thing with this particular crisis.
Alfonso, we probably have about 30 seconds left or so, but quickly, what would you like to see from each of these visits taking place at the border, and what do you think needs to be done?
Well, I think you see every poll shows that the vast majority of Americans are not happy with what the president's doing at the border. So I do hope that they will return to some of the border security measures that President Trump put in place, particularly expanding the border wall system and reestablishing the Remain in Mexico policy so people can abuse the asylum system. And we send a clear message to the region that this is not the way to enter the country.
Well, Alfonso, thank you so much for your time today. Thanks for weighing in. We appreciate it. Alfonso Aguilar, president of the Latino Partnership for Conservative Principles. Thank you again.